This was the last picture I took of my son.
Jackie Renfro is a mother on a mission. After losing her son Jimmy and daughter Chrissy to something called long QT syndrome, which is a disturbance of the heart's electrical system, she wants every mother to know the symptoms.
Very commonly, you have fainting spells, seizures, shortness of breath, rapid heartbeat.
Athletes get it?
Yes. And when a child passes away or a young adult from it, nothing shows up in the autopsy.
Jimmy died in his sleep at the age of 22, Chrissy at the age of 21, also in her sleep.
This is her prom picture.
And all the while, they had been misdiagnosed with epilepsy because of their so-called seizures. As it turns out, this could have been picked up with an electrocardiogram.
A lot of kids go through school physicals and the doctor listens to their heart, and that's about all they get. They don't get a big MRI, they don't get an EKG. It's just not cost effective. What do you say to that?
I say it doesn't matter how much money you mortgage your house to save your kid's life.
If Jackie's children had been correctly diagnosed, they might have been treated with beta blockers or a pacemaker. Now, Jackie will tell anyone who will listen to get checked.
Americans, and second, that sibling link stronger than the link to your parents' risk. Prevention is key, and that is especially hard for a family in Franklin to hear, because if only the mother had gotten the right diagnosis, she says she could have taken steps to save her children.
Because sometimes if your heart beats too fast and you don't rest, you don't know what could happen.
At 7, Alexis in Franklin says she has to think before she acts, especially in gym class.
We had to do a 2-minute run, and I had to think, could I do the 2-minute run?
Alexis has long QT syndrome, a hereditary condition that makes her susceptible to irregular heartbeats and sudden cardiac death. She is the first in her family to benefit from this diagnosis. It's claimed several lives, including Alexis' dad at just 22, her Aunt Chrissy at 21.
I remember my aunt a little more than my dad, but I hardly remember either of them.
But grandmother Jackie Renfro cannot forget the beginning of her darkest days, the call that her son had had a seizure.
Next thing I know, I turn around and look at the stairs and my son's coming down in a body bag.
Renfro was devastated and worried that her daughter, who also had seizure spells, could be at risk as well. But the diagnosis did not come in time, and within 2 years, Chrissy died unexpectedly, too.
They both were asleep, suffered from a seizure, and died. And she was only 21.
Now IU doctors say a trained eye with a simple test could have saved both children.
The simplest and fastest way to make a diagnosis would be to obtain an electrocardiogram.
Definitely, she could have been saved. A heart defibrillator, beta blockers, very treatable. There's no reason for my children to be dead today.
Alexis is now on beta blockers, and grandmother is writing a book documenting how she was just a heartbeat away from finding out what could have saved her children's lives.